106 miles to Chicago.
Welcome to Costco.
We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Say hello to my little friend.
Ever dance with the devil in the bedroom?
I'll buy that for $1.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Get to the shovel! There's no flying in baseball!
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
To infinity and beyond!
I wish I knew how to quit these dead people.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
It should be Riddick. Escape convict.
There's Johnny.
Murder.
You tell him I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Why so serious?
Don't you like clowns?
Bleed my own blood.
But the English language had deteriorated into a hybrid of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various grunts.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Oh, we did a thing.
We did a thing.
All right.
Let's
see. I moved the camera to here, so I was about to look over there and point, but I'm going to point over here now. Whoa. Wasn't Keith out last week? He wasn't on last week's, right? Because he said he was working. I thought he worked every other weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was every other weekend, too.
That son of a bitch probably out doing something.
I don't know, dude. He's probably fucking off.
Yeah. Oh, there's Jen. She's on camera. Woo!
Oh, we have a Jen spotting. We spotted a Jen.
Yeah.
Hi, Jen.
He says hi, Jen.
What's up, dog? Give me your microphone. Bring me down here. Are y'all recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
She wanted to fart in the microphone. She's like, wait, you're recording? She's like,
lay it down, sister.
He said, lay it down, sister. And with that, welcome to Pop Culture Kick, the podcast where we fart into microphones. We've done worse.
There's a market for that.
That's true. You know, see, that was a juicy one. We could bottle those farts and sell them on OnlyFans.
That's true. We could. We would make tens of dollars.
Actually, there's this girl that did it, and she made lots of money doing
That's because she was hot.
it. That's true. No one wants any dump truck gas from this dump truck.
That's because she was a hot chick.
Oh, man.
And what those fans did with the farts, who knows?
Who knows?
And I don't want to know.
That was like, what was it? I saw some video where this dude had like a Ziploc bag of air from like 2001 or something like that. And he like ripped open the bag and sucked in the air real quick and blacked out. And when he came back on, he was wearing like Jinko jeans and fucking all this other 90s stuff. He had a flip phone and it was awesome. Oh, the 90s.
Them's were the days.
Oh yeah.
Them's were the days when you wore that shit.
Yes, I don't have too much. There's a few things, to go over, but we're actually going to see Barbie in like right after this, so
Word. Well, Barbie is
I wanted to ask, like, hey, can you pull up some financials here? What are we looking at for Barbie, Oppenheimer, and early predictions for maybe Turtles?
So grosses right now as of Friday, 423 million, 429 million. So 852 million worldwide right now.
This movie's gonna make $1 billion. Frickin' Barbie.
it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. Domestic box office as of Friday. Top three is Barbie, Meg 2,
Well, we knew Meg 2 would spike. Just do it's a summer movie, right? That is a description of a summer movie.
Right. You think about like the first summer blockbuster was Jaws.
Dun, dun.
And then in third place is Mutant Mayhem at
Okay.
24 million.
Yeah, so apparently what I was looking up was that Oppenheimer isn't really selling out of the regular theaters, but it's all of the IMAX and the 70 mil. Like our 70 millimeters here, they're booked up for like 2 weeks. I still can't get into those. Like, because people are really wanting to see it how it was filmed. So that's kind of cool. that's cool for like actual good movies, right?
Yeah, film. Yeah,
yeah. I
for Oscar worthy type stuff.
Yeah, and I was told that it didn't really have to be seen in 70 millimeter because it's a lot of talking, not a lot of big vistas and stuff. So I may just go see it in a regular theater.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be seen in 70 millimeter. Shelby and I saw it in IMAX format, regular IMAX format.
Yeah.
Just fine. It was great.
Yeah, so I'll probably just go to
the sound design is still insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got 2 theaters in particular that I drive like past multiple theaters to go to just because I love the screens and the audio in these 2 theaters.
Yeah.
So they're both AMC, but there's 2 really good AMCs here. I drive past 2 other AMCs and others to get to these 2 specific just because of their sound. So yeah,
you definitely. I mean, the sound design in that movie is fantastic. So yeah,
Excellent.
you definitely want to get a high quality IMAX theater that does the the Dolby sound or the THX sound or
yeah,
one of those major ones.
Both these theaters have the Dolby theaters in them, which is my favorite. I prefer those over IMAX. And it's the one in particular, AMC that I go to. My favorite one is down here. Dude, it's this sound system in this theater is crazy, man. It's one of the best ones I've ever heard when it comes to like the movies, to true like immersive sound. It's pretty badass. So,
Yeah,
I could fillet that AMC Dolby all day long.
Yeah.
So Barbie's almost up to $1 billion. Oppenheimer, what was it like?
208 domestic, 231 world or international, so 439 worldwide.
Okay.
And right now sitting in the number 4 spot for the weekend. So Warner Brother has
big weekend.
The first top 2 right there are like straight Warner Brothers movies this weekend. And then Paramount and Universal.
Okay.
So
Mutant Mayhem, I'm sure it's going to have a pretty good weekend. It's Turtles, it's a kids movie. It's the weekend right before school starts, so perfect timing.
Yeah, so that's how the weekend is sitting. Of course, Barbie took the last 2 weeks. So it's looking like Barbie will take this weekend also.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, we're going to see it right after this, so I'm pretty excited. Speaking of Spielberg, we mentioned Spielberg earlier. Did you know that he had this quote out? I wish I would have. I don't think I wrote it down. But his quote. He was talking to some news article, and he was talking about how he does. If the movie doesn't make money, he doesn't make money on it.
Right.
And he says that his actors should do the same. They should bet against the movie or whatever, and Tom Hanks took him up on that bet for Saving Private Ryan. He took no, Spielberg doesn't pay his actors up front. He waits till the end.
He pays them off the back end.
Yeah. And so, Tom Hanks, I think, was one of the bigger ones that he did that with for Saving Private Ryan. He paid him nothing up front, and then paid him profit sharing at the end. And he said Tom Hanks made a lot of money doing that, but it shows, the caliber of, and the trust that he had, because Tom Hanks really wanted to work with Spielberg on that. And then they had that collaboration since that point where they would work together a lot.
I mean, you have to think about it too, though. Like, Tom Hanks had already made a name for himself before that movie, right? He was already well known. He'd already made, quite a bit of good money off of previous films. You can't have, somebody who's, kind of somewhat unknown doing that same thing, or else they're not going to be able to feed themselves.
Yeah, he is talking about the big actors. When he worked with Will Smith on Men in Black, Will Smith really wanted to work with Steven Spielberg on other movies, right? Because Spielberg usually uses his same people through his movies. And he said that he met up with Will Smith at a party once, and Will Smith asked him, "Hey, why don't you ever use me for your movies?" And he flat out told him, he goes, "You're too big for my movies." You're too big of an actor, So,
and then he goes and casts him, fucking Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool, him talking about the, kind of the backside there, and
and I mean, that sort of thing kind of makes sense for people that have already made millions of dollars. And, you're looking at an almost guaranteed, blockbuster with Spielberg being a part of it.
Yeah.
Because, Spielberg doesn't make a whole lot of movies.
No.
Right? None of these, like,
him, Cameron, any of them, like, they made their names for themselves.
Directors make a lot of movies. They put a lot of years into few movies.
Yeah, hell, you want to talk about, that, look at Cameron, he did, 3 movies in the last, I don't have it pulled up, but not a lot of movies, because he's working on the technology, he's working on the backside, he's working on things to make his movies faster and easier to come out.
He has the vision in his head, right, of what he wants, and he has to help develop the technology to get that vision.
That brings up another quote, the vision in his head. One of the things that because Will Smith was a producer for Men in Black, and he had said he told Will Smith to shut his brain off or something like that. He's like, don't use your brain, use my brain for this, or something like that. Because Will Smith was trying to help collaborate on it. Because, this is right when his career was like booming, right? Just taking off as a movie star.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to, read about and hear about.
Yeah, the backside of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was like what Jack Nicholson with Joker, right? One of the best deals ever when it comes to getting paid for a movie. Like, he took less up front, but took percentage of profits from merchandising, which no actors had done up to that point. That was unheard of. They got their big check and they were out.
Right.
No, he took the licensing, and Batmania was one of the largest merchandising ever in history for a movie.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
He
knew what he was doing when he went into that.
That was pretty interesting. Hey, speaking of Hollywood, did you know Alice Cooper owns the O in the Hollywood sign?
No, I didn't. But that sounds like something a rock star would do.
So back in the
which O?
The first O. It's the first one in the word. Did you know? So back before they redid the Hollywood sign when it was all like decrepit and like looked like shit. So
Yeah.
the city that was maintaining it had put a thing out. Alice Cooper went to the committee that's in charge of it and says, "Hey, what's going on with this sign? Right? Like, it literally looks like Hollywood is dying."
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, we just don't have the funds to do it. It costs $27,500 per letter." And so Alice Cooper bought the O in remembrance of one of his friends there. And he said, "Well, I'll pay to redo the O." And then Hugh Hefner bought the H to redo the H after that. So he started this as like a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And then all these other actors and directors, I think Spielberg bought one. Someone else bought another. Like, so all these like big name celebrities own letters in the Hollywood sign, and they pay to maintain them.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean,
somebody needs to kidnap the D, like in BoJack Horseman. It's gonna be Hollywood. Whoever owns that one just needs to take it. Just go up there. Yoink.
I thought that was pretty interesting and funny. I saw it in a video. He was doing an interview. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I own the O." What you got?
Yeah. Well, I don't have much this week either. But I'm gonna have to bring it down a little bit. Bringing it down. Bring down the mood.
Are you about to talk about Mr. Rubens?
Gonna make a lot of people sad. So we lost a couple people this week.
We did.
The big one, obviously, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. Apparently, like one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
Yeah, he kind of transformed his life into that character and just wanted to make people happy and have all the way up until he died. I mean, I have his quote here. So he wrote this like a day or so before he died, knowing that he wasn't going to make it very much further. And he wrote, "Please accept my apology for not going public with what I've been facing the last 6 years. I have always felt a huge amount of love and respect for my friends, fans, and supporters. I have loved you all so much and enjoyed making art for you." And that was the last thing he wrote.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he even though, he's had many run-ins with the law. He just had that one public one after he was done with Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Which people gave a
it was a scandal because he ran a children's show.
Yeah. But he was done with the children's show when he was there.
Yeah. He was done. Yeah, he was done with Pee Wee's Playhouse.
But he was arrested 2 times before that.
Well, shit, everybody's been arrested.
It's not even. One other time that involved another like adult store incident, and then another one for like weed or something like that. But it just.
I mean, but here's the thing. This has always been my opinion about it. Like, he was in an adult movie, right? They were, he's in an adult movie theater where they were showing where they showed that because that's what they did back then. Right, they had some small fucking shady movie theaters that would
still do
show adult films, and people would go watch it, and it's like, what do you expect, dude?
Yeah, they still do, man.
That's what happens in adult movies.
You go into your theater with your bag of baby wipes and
yeah. So he just, I mean, it was a big deal because he was famous and because he because he, ran Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's it. That's it. And it's like, big fucking deal, man. Okay.
Yep.
Like, any one of those other
Welcome
people
to Hollywood.
yeah, exactly. Welcome to Hollywood. It's all shady. It's all fucking nasty.
Hell, if they just go a little bit south to San Francisco, you can just go take a shit right on the sidewalk there and walk around with your dick out.
Yeah.
In that city, so
go up to Portland.
Yeah.
Right, go to Portland.
Yeah. I mean, some of those cities out there, there's no code for indecency. It's as long as it's not hard and you're not playing with it,
Right.
you can walk around with your dick out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah. So sad.
Yep.
That Paul Rubens died.
So he did that like up until a few years ago. He was still like showing up in his Pee Wee Herman outfit and doing the voice, and he said it was difficult sometimes. Like when he'd go buy groceries, he didn't know if was it Pee Wee buying groceries or Paul Rubens, because he never did interviews as Paul Rubens. Like he's played other big characters, right? He was the Penguin's dad in Batman Returns. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The the guy that took 10 minutes to die.
remember seeing him in Blow?
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That's Paul Rubens. Like, holy shit! Like, you hadn't seen him in like years, right?
Yep.
And then he just like shows up in these random movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of these movies, you don't recognize him at all. Buffy, you didn't even realize it was him in Buffy. You didn't realize it was him in Batman Returns at the beginning, right? He's wearing the monocle and all prim and proper, like, and he originally wanted to get rid of the Pee Wee Herman. He was like, I don't want to live him.
Right. And it's one of those things where it's like a lot of these actors can be kind of overshadowed by one character that they played.
People don't know his name. They call him Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace to Paul Rubens.
Yes.
He tried doing so much good in the world. He
did for a lot of people. There's a lot of people around our age that grew up with, Pee Wee's Playhouse and, Mr. Rogers. He's in that same vein with Mr. Rogers of just trying to teach. I mean, hell, his show had him
talking to furniture,
going on dates with guys. He married fruit salad because he loved it so much. Like, it was crazy. His show it was all about acceptance and just being a good person.
Yeah.
This was during a time, when there was a lot of racial tension as well. And so he brought Lawrence Fishburne in freaking chaps.
Lawrence Fishburne as the cowboy.
Oh man. Like he brought him in and like, it was, it is a sad day, to see that and to have that go, but yeah, go ahead. Who else?
So we also lost Mark Margolis this week.
Oh yeah, most people nowadays will think of him as Breaking Bad, but that dude has been in a lot.
He's been in a lot of shit.
A lot of movies.
That dude has been working in Hollywood for decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I watched something where it was a younger version of him, and I was like, holy shit. That's the dude who shit himself on Breaking Bad. It was, what the fuck was it? It's some 80s movie. But yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. A lot.
Let's see. I mean, I think one of my favorite ones that he was in was Pi. Aronofsky.
Oh yeah, Aronofsky. Yep.
Of course, Aronofsky worked with him a lot. I mean, because he was in Requiem for a Dream, The Fountain, and Black Swan 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, most well known, obviously, for Breaking Bad. But like, he was in fucking like Scarface,
Ace Ventura, Scarface. Yep.
You know, he
He
he's
was
in a
in.
lot of shit.
I remember he was in uh Snowpiercer, the
Yeah.
show, which has got like
Yeah.
it's got like 4 seasons. It's so hard to watch here in the United States. Like it was on Netflix and then they pulled it, and I don't know where the hell to watch it now, except when I use my VPN to put Netflix in other countries.
Yeah.
Such a good show, man. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, as a matter of fact, it looks like he was in pretty much every Darren Aronofsky film.
100. So I just pulled up his IMDb here, and
Yeah.
177 things.
Yeah.
That's a big list.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it looks like he was in the episode of Law and Order.
Oh, he was in The Immortals. He was a priest. That's right. The Wrestler. Yeah, Californication.
So pretty much every Aronofsky movie.
Gone,
I mean, let's look at it this way. Looks like he got his start in like 1952. You know.
Oh, he was in Oz. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what it was I was watching. Okay, I thought 80s. No, it's late 90s. I was watching Oz and I was like, "Oh shit. That's him." That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Oz is such a good show.
he was in Quantum Leap, an episode of that.
Hannibal. He was the perfect
Star Trek The Next Generation. He was in an episode of that.
I remember that too. Yep. Dude, this list just goes on.
He was a bartender in a Madonna video.
Yeah.
That's how old he is.
Yeah, bad girl. Tales from the Dark Side. Yep. I just saw that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this guy's got a massive career.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge. He's been in everything, basically.
Wasn't he in Kojak? I think he was.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll lift one to him too, man. He's had a long career.
Yeah. And he was in the Manhunt video game.
Yeah, he did a voice. Oh, obviously he did a voice.
Oh, really? They didn't pull him out of the real world and just put him in a video game?
Oh, yeah, he did a voice for that game. No shit, stupid. They had him doing motion capture. Strangling people.
Yeah. So Mark Margolis, rest in peace.
Yeah, there was one more. The kid from Euphoria.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about him too. Didn't really know his work too much. But yeah, I heard about him. He's like 25 or something.
Yeah. I just saw something about somebody not donated, but somebody did something for him. It was Angus Cloud was his name.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be, or I guess he still is, in this Dracula movie that's coming.
He was found on the street.
Oh, okay.
He was what?
He was approached on the street. Some casting director saw him and liked his look.
Oh, Jen was saying his story is that he was found on the street. Casting director was like driving by and saw him. No, I know. They were driving by and saw him and liked his look, and that's how he got his break.
So basically, like Zoolander.
Yeah. Just like Zoolander.
Just like Zoolander. Well, damn. Yeah. I mean, that's sad.
Yeah, I don't know if they've.
It's probably drugs.
It probably. I don't know. My guess would be drugs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
His dad just died and he was having a hard time.
Oh, Jen says his dad just died and he was having a hard time.
So he started doing drugs.
I don't know.
Or probably started doing more drugs.
Yeah.
To cope. That kid started doing copium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. So remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Nope. I don't remember anything from the past.
The magic card, the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
Of how
Post Malone.
Yeah.
Post Malone bought it.
Yeah. So the Magic Company had that collaboration with Lord of the Rings, and they produced a one ring to rule them all card. One card.
Yeah.
The guy found it, had it graded.
It's not official. It's not playable.
Yeah, it's just a one card. So he the guy found it, submitted it, had it graded. The world found out that someone had found it because PSA had posted it on their Instagram. While all these
like it was like almost instantly. It was within like a couple of weeks of them announcing that it was there. I mean, I remember we talked about that, how like the Magic people were like,
like now all these guys are sitting on all this product trying to find the one ring card.
Yeah.
And so that card, Post Malone bought it. He's a big Magic nerd, right? He buys a lot of high dollar Magic cards, and he's got a big collection of stuff that, really, he's kind of, one, he's a nerd about it, but two, putting them away because collectors will still buy them for those prices he's paying. But
yeah,
he bought the card from this guy for $2.6 million.
That's an expensive piece of card stock.
Yes, it is. For something that didn't get a 10, it was like a 9.0 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, he bought that card. It's in his collection, and that kid just became rich.
Yeah.
I think he's from like New Zealand or something, wasn't he? Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of them foreign boys.
Yeah.
One of them foreigners. Oh, did you hear that the U.S. women's soccer team got eliminated from the World Cup?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they got gone.
Oh, I heard
Sweden took them out.
I did see that other countries are banning trans men or women. Would it be a trans woman?
Trans woman. It would be a trans woman. Yeah.
Yeah, they're banning them from being able to. So if like an American team has a trans woman and they come to play, the other team will not come play. It's starting to pop up kind of all over, and there's a whole like group here in the U.S. that's trying to keep.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, my personal opinion is that
let them play, dude. Like, that's my personal opinion. Like, they being trans women, trans men, whatever, they still want to be able to, they want to be treated like a human being, right?
Yes.
And if they want to play sports, let them play fucking sports. Big deal.
Yeah, the issue.
It's not that big a deal. It really isn't. It's not that big a deal.
Although,
it's a game.
The issue that comes in is when you get into the the stuff where the biological part is a bigger advantage than the female side. Have you seen the UFC ones?
Yeah. I saw that. Was it Fallon Fox where she broke that other chick's fucking skull? Combat sports, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've got that. You've got the there's, what was it? Was it running where the guy couldn't hack it in the men's league? So then he like.
Well, see, this is all hearsay when it comes to that kind of shit, because you don't know what these people's intentions are unless they come out and straight out say it, right? Like, yeah, maybe he wasn't that great of a runner, maybe he wasn't that competitive of a runner, but that doesn't mean that he didn't earnestly, transition because they felt like that they were the other gender, or if they transitioned because they wanted to be more competitive in sports. Only that person knows, right?
Yeah, but that guy, when he goes from the male to the female, and then he just obliterates every world record on the female side. That I don't know. To me,
the thing is, the only thing is this is like 5 people.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that's the other thing is like this is not even like this is not some fucking crazy fucking
No, there's not like coming out of the woodworks.
Crowds of fucking people that are coming to that are transitioning and playing fucking sports and all this stuff. It's like a very small amount of people.
Exactly.
And they just want to be treated like a
and there's some that
they want to be able to play sports.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's more that we don't even know because they're not, it's not something that has to be public.
Disclosed, right?
Exactly. These are the public ones that are coming out, and that's causing a lot of the media talk about them. Like,
Well, the media is part of the problem on this too, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they keep fucking talking about it. Because this is the issue that everybody wants to run with nowadays. Is the trans issue. That's the hot button thing. That's the fucking that's what's in the zeitgeist right now.
Yeah, like was it California just passed a thing that allows transgenders to pick which they can go to any bathroom they want or something like that, some law.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is like
campuses or
just make the bathrooms make all the bathrooms fucking genderless. Make them all fucking co-ed.
Yeah.
And then that solves your fucking problem. Like they did that in Europe. There's several countries in Europe. They don't have men's and women's fucking bathrooms. They just have bathrooms.
Most gas stations have one bathroom.
Right. So just eliminate gendered fucking bathrooms and then beat by. Then you have no fucking problem.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no issue of anybody going in the wrong bathroom. No, it's a fucking bathroom. Everybody shits
I'm down.
and pisses. Everybody.
That means that there's more bathrooms for me.
Yeah. I mean, everybody shits and pisses, right? That's not a gendered thing. So why have gendered bathrooms to begin with? It's like there's no need for them.
Exactly. So I got a pretty rare comic book back. This is
Send it.
This is I don't know if my camera's reversed or not. Is that the right side for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. So what's special about this book? For one, there's only 11 of them that have been graded. Mine's not the best grade because it's one of my childhood books. But if you'll notice, this is a kid's comic book for Dragon Ball Z. Do you notice the sponsors on this car?
Yeah. Remember we talked about that.
Yeah. So only 11 of them graded. I can't find any other for sale to even figure out how much this is worth. There is a T-shirt that was originally printed back when this came out in 2001. Those T-shirts are selling for anywhere between $700 and $1,100 for the T-shirt with this image printed on it. So Akira Toriyama was a big F1 fan, and
yeah,
the Japanese are big smokers over there. They like their Marlboro. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to get this back, man. I was excited. This is I've had this book forever, since it came out when I lived in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, like okay, so here's another one. There's a pickleball player. You've heard of pickleball?
Yeah, it's getting real popular nowadays.
Yeah, it's getting super popular. There's one there was a girl that was outed woman, sorry, that was outed as trans. Her name is Sarah Weiss. And, she just loves to play fucking pickleball. And she wants to be able to just, compete playing fucking pickleball. And there was this whole fucking thing about You know, should she be allowed to, you know, play in the women's events and stuff like that? And then, you know, the pickleball people were just like, yeah, we'll let her play. Fuck it. You know?
Yeah.
It just is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sports like that, I don't think, you know, being a man or a woman gets you a big advantage.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of skill involved with a lot of stuff, right? And skill type stuff, you know, women can sometimes do better than men.
Yeah.
You know, if it comes to if it, you know, practice, you know, you practice a lot and you get more skilled at it. And also, you know, you'll also build strength at it too as you practice. If it's a strength type sport or, you know, that type of sport. So like, you know, honestly, you know, if you wanted to lay everything to fucking rest when it came to this debate on that kind of thing, is like, you know, create a fucking league where it doesn't matter your gender. Fucking, they just, if they're really really good at it and they can compete, then let them compete, right?
Yeah. I think
there's always going to be some sports like football and basketball that are just going to have a men's league and a women's league, and you know,
Yeah.
those are the ones that make billions of dollars, right? That's where, you know, a lot of the women are not going to be able to compete with the men when it comes to those sports,
Yeah.
right? You put them, you put
They're just gonna get run over, man.
You
Like
put them even side to side with fucking, you know, like the NBA, right? Ain't happening, right?
No, even
Ain't
NFL, you know, it's just sheer strength. You know, not that, you know, the women aren't strong, but the natural body of the male. You know, you put the same size person next to each other, there's more muscle mass. It's just biological. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one I was talking about was this one, Terry Miller. This is the one that like started the more the media like grabbed it and started moving with all this, and it was born a male but now identifies as a female and broke the 100-meter and 200-meter dash by like large margins. But was like ranked, was it like 14th or 20th something in the men's division. And then ran and won gold medals on both for the females, and that was the one that started a lot of the.
Well, and that's the thing. Here's the other thing too: is like, why can't they just let them compete, right? But you put that caveat on there, right? Just like the Barry Bonds fucking home run fucking record and all that stuff. Put the asterisk.
The asterisk.
Like,
yep.
You know. Yeah, put the asterisk, and because then that way, when you look at second, third, the actual, you know, women that were born females, the biological females, then you can actually get an accurate representation of, you know, the upper limit when it comes to a female, and then the upper limit when it comes to a trans person, right?
Right.
Like, we're not even, you know, it's, you know, everyone's trying to be more inclusive. Well, I say everyone, not everyone.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
But yes,
you got those nuts in Westboro Baptist Church or those other fucking churches that have been popping up around the country that are similar to Westboro.
Yeah, and the issue, I guess so if you do the asterisk thing and go on, that would mean that you would end up doing, you know, they already do a bunch of testing, right? But then, you know, it would be you run the risk of what if that person doesn't want to be outed, right? They've been behind the lines, you know, is that something that they have to risk to get and perform?
It would have to be like
it's the only way to make it fair, right?
At some point, like, they're going to have to disclose this information to people that run the leagues and everything.
Yeah.
Simply because.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
because there are biological differences.
Yeah,
and you know, a lot of them are looking at, and this is where the science comes in, right? A lot of them are looking at, you know, they have to have been on, you know, hormone replacement therapy for X amount of time.
Yep.
Their testosterone levels and their estrogen levels and stuff like that have to measure within the normal acceptable ranges.
I was just about to say is
men
that,
and women and all that stuff.
you know, if you've got someone who blows away the record by these big margins like this, they're doing blood tests, they're doing all this stuff. They're like, well, wait a minute, nobody's beaten this record in 30 years, and then this person just comes out of nowhere and obliterates it. We need to test this, so they'll know right away once they start doing those tests.
They're being tested if they're competing in those. In those things to begin with, because obviously the implication is steroid use, right?
Yep.
And other banned substances, right? So they're already being tested for banned substances. Now they're just adding another level of tests for, like I said, the androgens, the testosterone, the estrogens, stuff like that, to make sure that they fall within like normal limits.
Yeah, the other one that I saw was the women's powerlifting records were all beaten by a trans woman. And a lot of the women were upset because they've worked their whole lives to get to these limits and do it, and then someone just comes in and sets the record even further that they can't get to now. And so
look, those women are right to be upset, right? No one's saying that those women can't be upset about this.
But the asterisk will work. I mean, to me, right? That again, we don't really get a vote in that camp of that, but to me that would work, because you can still keep working towards your goals.
You can still let them compete, right?
Yep.
And you can still also, see the accomplishments that the biological women have been able to make. And also, maybe an awards thing and a different type of award type thing should be sort of done for that also, right? Because this does impact the biological girls and women, from being able to get that first place fucking prize when.
That's what I was just about to say. Is
one
that
individual that had that fucking run time that was just like
they'll have
way
to
fucking higher than everybody else.
They'll have to have now two first places. If they have someone else running, they have to have a backup, right? If there is,
or just to close down the debate, to close down the debate completely, would be just to, like I said, have experimental leagues where it doesn't matter what your fucking gender are, or what your gender is, what your gender expression is, or anything like that. You just show up and you compete, and then whoever's first is first, whoever's second is second, and whoever's last is last, and just put it all out on the table. Now, what you're going to find is in a lot of those, in most, I would say, leagues, biological males are going to take up fucking like the top spots.
Yeah. I mean, it's just how the
right. Let's have one Olympics where they don't do men's and women's, where they just do.
I think they go back to old school Roman days. Just make it naked, oil them up, have them throwing some discus, and if you got some dangly bits, you go over there to the left, and if you don't have the dangly bits, you go to the right.
If you want to see balls and wieners dangling around all day on a sweaty fucking pitch, then hot sweaty sweltering.
Then come to Nick's Olympics.
Nick's Olympics. Nick's Dick's Olympics.
We don't use oil. We use butter.
No, but maybe 1 year for the Olympics, just do a little experiment, right? One summer Olympics, and just take out the men's and women's fucking competitions, and just one competition, and whoever, again, like let them still do the women's and men's positions whenever they're competing to go to the Olympics. And then once they get to the Olympics, bam, no more genders. It's just if you came here to run the 400-meter dash,
Let's see who really is the best.
Let's see you run the 400-meter dash. Doesn't matter your gender or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're competing with everybody else.
Yeah, there's another one.
And see how that shakes out, right? Like that's the experiment, right?
Yeah, there's
because the other thing that a lot of people aren't seeing too is just there's not enough data, right? Because these are so few cases, right?
Yeah.
There's so few cases of this that there's so little data that right now the data is skewed one way, right?
Yeah,
and that is go ahead.
I was gonna say I think we're gonna see a lot more of this coming up real soon to the when the Olympics do come, because like just Googling a quick simple just Googling of this, I'm seeing transgender athletes banned from elite international track, World Athletics bans trans from competing in women's leagues for lifting, bans I mean all over the world they're starting to like, no, you need to separate. So I think when we get to the Olympics, we're going to see this in the news a lot more, talking about this, because there's I mean here's one right here, gold medal Olympic swimmer loses by large margin to transgender female. And so we're going to it's going to heat up when we get to the Olympics, it is. But that's where the discussion, they need to start having those discussions as a world in those sports, like you said. Let's figure something out instead of just straight up banning, right?
Right.
Just because they're transgender, they still train their whole life for it.
Right. How do we let them compete while keeping the playing field somewhat fair? It's not, and here's the other thing. The other thing too is, yes, there's a lot of people that are saying that it's not fair. It's not fair. They were born a boy, now they want to be a woman. All this stuff. When it comes to sports, it's never fair. No. Never. Not even men competing against other men, women competing against other women. It's never fair, because there's always someone who either has a biological advantage, right? Whether it's fucking height, whether it's muscle fucking fiber build, whether it's just their recovery time is a lot faster, just because they are just biologically predisposed to that kind of thing. The myostatin, right? Maybe they have lower levels of myostatin, so they're able to fucking build muscle quicker and bigger than everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? There's always someone who's better. There's always someone who has a better advantage. And then off of the biological thing, there's someone that wants it more. There's someone that puts in more fucking time into what, they want to accomplish.
Exactly. Yeah,
right? And they put more heart into it, right?
Yep.
They lift, like if they're a lifter, right? Then they take the risks to lift more. They'll lift more often. They'll train in a way that just is, at a level that's higher than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They'll be more dedicated to it. They'll be more committed to it because it's what they want.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they can do, a separate league that, if biological males, females, they want to compete in a co-op league,
right.
Then
there's a lot of amateurs that already do that.
Exactly.
There's a lot of there's a rugby league here in fucking Corpus, and it's fucking, co-ed. Like it doesn't matter if you just want to show up and you want to play.
Exactly.
Right?
So like I think there is discussions they need to have instead of just straight up. But I mean,
at the end of the day, trans people, they just want to play.
Yep.
With all the other people, right? That's what they want to do. They want to be treated like a normal human being, and whatever they're interested in, whatever little sport, game, whatever they're interested in. Like you don't see this in like fucking competitive fucking Dungeons and Dragons or competitive fucking Warhammer fucking 40K, where a fucking trans player fucking is outed and all this stuff, and it's like huge fucking media. outrage.
No, and sports like tennis and other stuff, right? There is no real advantage or disadvantage because that comes, like you said, that's all skill based, right?
There is advantage. I mean, you're talking about reach. You're talking about fucking power.
Yeah.
If you look at the kind of if you look at how fast fucking male tennis players and how fucking hard they hit that shit compared to the women,
Yeah.
women wouldn't be able to compete with them. Even Venus Williams even came out and fucking said
like
that
if she took on
challenged. If she took on, like it was an interview where I think it might have been like Anderson Cooper or somebody was like interviewing her, and they say, "Hey, would you ever play, this guy and whatnot?" And she's like, "No, hell no, I wouldn't be able to compete with him."
Okay.
Like there's because even she and look, fucking, I think it was Venus Williams, and look at her, like she's, I mean,
like
for a woman,
number one for like years and years and
yeah.
years.
Well, look at her build though. Like
Yeah.
for a woman, she puts a lot of men to shame, right?
Yep.
Even there's a lot of fucking men that don't have the type of fucking body composition that she has. She's fucking jacked, dude. And even she's like, yeah, nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to compete with that guy, right? Because she.
That's true. I didn't think about like how hard they hit those balls.
Yeah, like it's coming in fast. But yeah, even she's like, nah, I wouldn't be able to compete with a lot of those guys. Wouldn't want to. Because the fact of the matter is, as a woman, she's at the top of her fucking game. Why would she?
Yeah.
Why would she even try to go into the fucking men's fray when she's like, one of the most well-known fucking women fucking tennis players of all time. So, there's that. Right? And like I said, I mean, it's just, let's make it more equitable. Let's make it more fair for everybody. Everybody that wants to compete, if you put in the work, you put in the time and dedication and all that stuff into that sport or game or whatever you want to play, you practice, you put sweat, effort, and all that into it, and then you show up on the world stage and you compete against everyone else, and just let it all fall, let the chips fall where they may, right?
Yeah. Hey, maybe the Olympics, they do need to put a new co-op section in there to let them in, see how that does. And
no, like I said, just make it all. Just do the whole thing, the whole Olympic Games. No men's, no women's categories. Just do it all. I mean, and I'm just saying, like one Olympics, one Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
Just do it. No men's categories, no women's categories. Just all the athletes that show up to do that event are the athletes that do that event, and they compete against each other. And then take the numbers, see where those chips fall at the end. And then you can actually have a fucking, an informed discussion on this. Because that's the thing. That's the issue that a lot of this has, is this isn't an informed discussion. Because, we don't have experts talking about this shit to in their circles. I mean, they are, but they're not being televised, right?
Right.
They have people like fucking Joe Rogan talking about this shit, right? They have people like fucking you and me that are talking about this shit. We have no, we don't
matter in the conversation.
Right. Yeah, like we're not fucking, sports fucking scientists or anything like that. So like our opinion is just our opinion from all the information that we've been able to gather from the internet and social media and all that stuff.
Yep.
This is our opinion. Is it right? Maybe
we're
it
just
is
as good as mainstream news.
Yeah,
we make this shit up with our own opinions as we go.
Exactly. But maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. But I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and there's other people that
unlike the media.
There's other people that aren't willing to admit that they're wrong. And the big thing is it's wrong to exclude these people from being able to compete.
Yeah.
in the sports that they want to compete in, because at the end of the day, they're still human beings.
Yep. And like I was saying at the beginning of this whole thing, my opinion is, should the trans woman win the women's record? No. But should they be able to compete? Yes. And the thing that we solved right here is put the little asterisk. If
right, yeah,
something to allow the girls to still have, biological girls, have the ability to still compete for their own goal and not have something get out of reach that they can't go for.
Like, when you're talking about like intramural sports, when you're talking about like high school and stuff like that, like these girls are competing essentially to be able to get to the next level.
Yes,
they want to be able to go to a good college where they can compete, or they want to go to the Olympics where they can compete. Probably both a lot of times.
And these are the ones I'm talking about. They're the ones that are getting defeated mentally by seeing this,
Right. Right. And that's the thing. It's like the number one spot is going to be picked up by somebody fucking big. They're going to get a full ride fucking scholarship somewhere. Probably the top 3, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Depending on what how big the competition is, whether it's a state level, whether it's a city level or a national level or international level. But yeah, some of this stuff can definitely turn into opportunities for a lot of these young women. And that's part of the problem, is if you do have, a trans girl come in and just mop up,
decimate the records,
then you're eliminating some opportunities for these other young ladies to be able to go to the college that they want to go to get those Olympic opportunities that they want. So it's one of those things where it's like, where do you draw the line, right? Where does the, and again, I'm not the one to answer.
It's a tough decision that I'm glad I don't have to make, to figure that out, because either way they're going to piss somebody off, right? Like,
yeah. Well, you're going to piss somebody off no matter what.
Yeah, they're already pissed off.
I piss people off all the time.
Yeah.
It's my job to piss people off.
That's your face.
It's my goal. I show up to someone's house with a refrigerator, and I walk in with the goal of, how can I piss this person off? But also still get the job done.
It's written on his face.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, but that's the thing, you can't make everybody happy.
No.
At the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of people that just don't like you, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to like you. And if you were to ask them why they don't like that person, or why they can't even express why. They just don't fucking like them.
No, I mean, everybody's got that person that they've, they meet and they just immediately
Michael Cera's got like one of the most punchable faces in fucking Hollywood. I don't like that guy.
You go meet.
I thought he was hilarious in the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see it here. I gotta hop off in a minute.
In the Barbie movie, right? But
yeah,
dude, I mean, Michael Cera, man, like, I don't know. It's just, well, even like I said, I can't express why I want to punch Michael Cera in the face every time I see him. I just know that that's my gut visceral reaction. Would I punch him in the face in real life if I ever met him? No.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we all,
because he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, we all have that. You go into the office, or you see some, a group, and you get that, that one person. You're just like, yeah, no, I'm not vibing this dude.
Oh, like, you remember that guy that fucking that worked at Little Caesars? I don't know. He had, like, oh my god, he was in school with us, and he was a white dude, fucking, I think, kind of tall, kind of stocky, fucking white dude.
Yeah.
Wide build white dude. Nick, I think that was his name. Yeah. Nick.
Yeah.
I fucking hated that guy.
Yeah, piece of shit.
That Nick. Fuck, what was his last name? Nick D something. Some fucking French name or something. Fucking fraud.
Big D, like, just,
Big Yeah.
Swinging to his knees. Dick envy. Yeah, I think you had dick envy. Anyway, yeah. So for those of you who
that dude had like the most punchable fucking face.
this pop culture kick when
he used to spike his fucking hair up and shit.
Yeah, well, he grew it long, right? It was long, and then
like fucking beeswax at one time.
Yeah, dude, you remember? I remember he
made his face an even bigger punch target too.
He tried to spike his hair when it was long, like Static X, and used a whole bottle of a hair dryer and a whole bottle of hairspray, and had a headache for the next 4 days.
That's what you do when you're not fucking spraying your hair in an insulated space.
Oh man.
Fuck, dude.
Those were the days.
Yeah. But yeah, punchable faces.
The days of
that's what we're talking about on pop culture.
The days when the cool kids thought they could walk to the front of the line and Mark says "fuck no" on Taco Day.
They could just fucking cut in front of me.
No,
because they think they're better than me.
I'm in the goddamn taco salad line. You ain't getting in front of me, bitch.
I'm always gonna have something to say about that.
Yeah, no, you don't just get to walk in front because you think you're cooler than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, I don't have anything else. I gotta go get ready to go see this Barbie movie before Jen comes and slaps me and tells me to get going.
All right.
So I don't have anything else. I'm excited for my banned comic book. They actually re-released this in the U.S. without all the marble. It was just blank white.
Oh yeah. I remember you said that.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna put $10,000 on it. Yeah.
Also, there is a trans woman in the Barbie movie.
I knew. So, I knew that.
Yeah. So,
I'm not afraid.
No. There's no reason to be afraid.
No. Cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching and joining us on this quick pop culture kick there, where we talk sports for half an hour.
Yeah. We talked sports. We talked punchable faces. We talked about people that we lost.
Yeah. You know, we just need more Pee Wee Herman in this world, and we'd have less shit people causing shit problems.
Right?
You know,
right? Kindness and empathy, right?
More Mr. Rogers and more more Pee Wee Hermans.
More Mr. Rogers, more Pee Wee Hermans, more Robin Williamses.
Yep.
More Bob Rosses.
Happy little clouds, motherfucker. Happy little clouds.
Just paint your happy little fucking clouds and shut up.
All right. I'm Nick Zilla.
I'm Mark Becker.
This is Pop Culture Kick. We'll see you next week.
Maybe.
I don't know how to put this, but
The greatest trick,
kind of a big deal.
the devil ever pulled,
Really?
was convincing the world.
People know me.
In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God.
Jesus wept.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Listen, kid. There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Then we will fight in the shade.
How dare you say that to my face?
Well, I'd say it behind your back, but my car's only got half a tank of gas.